So as the time I'm recording this, the first part of my Hazbin Hotel Pokemon teams came out the other day, and it didn't do as well as I had hoped, so that's disappointing. But we're already recorded part two and in part one of this video, so I might as well finish it. Usually I get demotivated when I try and make a series and it doesn't do well, but since this is the last one anyway, I might as well go for it. You know, there's no point in not doing it. And plus, I'm really excited to talk about these Pokemon teams because as you guessed by the title, today I'm doing part two of the Helluva Boss Pokemon teams, but today I'm doing the Sins. I am really excited for this. As you all know, I love the Sins a lot. They're probably they're not my favorite characters, but they're my favorite group in the Helliverse. So I'm really excited about this. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing Lucifer because I already did Lucifer. So if you want to know what Lucifer's team was, go watch part one of my Hazbin Hotel Pokemon teams. But yeah, and like what I said in the last few videos, I gave each of them a legendary because I only want to give the Royal Demons a legendary. I don't want to give normal demons legendaries because that feels a bit too overpowered. But yeah, I think that makes sense. But let's get right into it. All right, starting with Satan, obviously the King of Wrath. His first Pokemon would be Charizard. I feel like this is obvious. Charizard's a giant flying lizard that is literally on fire, and that's literally what Satan is. You know. I mean, I guess Satan would be a dragon type, but I think I said that in my Helliverse Pokemon types videos, but Charizard's not a dragon type, so who knows. But yeah, that would be his starter. He'd also have a Salamence, because Salamence was the first, dragon type to just be made just to be a dragon. Because I know, obviously, Dragonite exists, but, he's meant to be all cute and cuddly. Salamence is just meant to be a fierce dragon, so I thought that was really fitting. I know it's not fire type, but I don't really think that matters. He'd also have a Centiskorch, because Centiskorch is kind of based on a Chinese dragon and a centipede. It looks really cool. I love the design aspect. And it also has the exact same color scheme as Satan. Shout out to Max for pointing that out to me. So yeah, I really, really like that a lot. And his legendary might be a bit of an odd one for you all, but I'll explain it. Would be a Victini. Victini might seem a bit too cute for Satan, but the reason I did that is because Satan has a therapist called Yogurt, and he looks exactly like Victini. It was so perfect, you know? I'm so glad that I realized this, because he originally had a different legendary, but I'm not going to say what one, but it was a bit too, not right for him. And I was trying to think of a different one, so this one was much better. I know it's cutesy and all, but so is Yogurt. Yogurt's adorable, so I think it fits really well. And that's Satan's team. Alright, next is the Queen of Gluttony herself, Queen Beelzebub. I love her so much. So her first Pokemon would be Delphox. Do I even need to explain why? She's literally based on a fox, and so is Delphox. It's very, very fitting in my opinion. And it's a magic fox as well, so yeah, that's kind of what she is too. And then she'd also have a Vespiquen, you know, the Pokemon that's based on a Queen Bee. That she is Queen Bee. I feel like I get too pretentious sometimes in these videos, I'm sorry, but it's just because I feel like the teams just make so much sense. She'd also have an Alchemy, because Alchemy's power is that it uses, I can't believe I have to say this, it uses its cream as attacks. I'm not even kidding. And they also uses it to top on cakes and stuff, and that's exactly what Beelzebub does as well. So I thought that was very fitting as well. It made sense for her to have a food Pokemon. And then her legendary would be Guzzlord. Maybe, I feel like if you really look at them, just their design-wise, then it'd make more sense for her to have Victini and Satan to have Guzzlord. But if you dive into the lore of each Pokemon, then no. Because Guzzlord is literally a glutton, you know? It eats everything in its path. And as gross as it's going to sound, it doesn't have an anus, so it just disappears. It's literally all inside of Guzzlord, and it never comes out. So, yeah. That's exactly what Beelzebub does, because her stomach is full of lava, so she can digest her food easily and never put on weight. So, yeah. Can't believe I had to say that, but that is the lore of Guzzlord, and that is Bee's team. Alright, next is Mammon, my least favourite of all the Sins. It wouldn't have been fair to not include him, because he is the King of Greed after all. He serves his purpose. So his first Pokemon would be a Spidop. I mean, it's a green spider. He's a green spider. Yeah, sorry. I'd also give him a Galvantula, though. Not just because it's also a spider, but because it's also an electric spider. And if you look really closely, sometimes Mammon actually does produce electricity, when he gets angry. So I thought that was very fitting indeed. So yeah. He'd also have a Greedent. It literally has greed in the name. Mammon's the king of greed. Yeah. I hate Greedent so much, so the fact that I'm giving my least favourite Pokemon to my least favourite Sin just felt right. And his legendary would be a Blacephalon, because it's a clown, and he's a clown. I think that's very fitting. Blacephalon's also based on a firework as well, so it could also work for Satan, but it works better for for Memon, in my opinion. And it also kind of has the color around it like Fizz did. And, you know, Memon kind of... He didn't literally own Fizz's soul, because Hellborns don't have souls, but he kind of did own his soul in a way. But yeah, I think that's very fitting as well. And that's Memon's team. Alright, next is the King of Lust himself, Osmodius. His team made me uncomfortable, not gonna lie. So I gave him Gardevoir, because the internet kind of lusts over Gardevoir a bit too much. Please stop that, guys, it's really creepy. Doesn't help that Pokemon made a life-size Gardevoir plushie. God, what were you thinking? And I'd also give him a Lopunny, for the same reason as Gardevoir, actually. Please stop it, guys, it's a rabbit, it's weird. And I'd also give him a Ditto, because, I mean, Pokemon fans will get this. In the games, you can, like, breed Pokemon to lay eggs, and, you know, it's a shiny hunting method and all that. But most people use Ditto, because Ditto can literally breed with every Pokemon in the game. So Ditto's kind of a little bit of a slut. So, kind of a bit of a lust thing going on there. So yeah, it was just very fitting for Ozzy. Very fitting. And his legendary would be Pheromosa, because Pheromosa uses its pheromones to make other Pokemon lust for it, so that they'll do what it says. So I thought that was really fitting as well. A lot of people, back when Gen 7 first came out, actually made theories that the Ultra Beasts were based on the 7 Deadly Sins, which is debunked now because we have more Ultra Beasts. But it was a fun theory back then, I believed it. So yeah, that's Ozzy's team. Alright, next is Levy, the Queen of Envy. Her name kind of sounds like Envy as well. Her team was really easy, surprisingly. So, as you can see, Levy has 2 heads. So, they'd both start with a Clamperl, and one head would evolve their Clamperl into Huntail, and the other would evolve it into a Gorebyss, because not only are they more fitting for each head, but they also, like, would argue, because even though we haven't heard either of them speak yet, I think that's going to be, like, Levy's whole thing, that the heads are kind of like envious of each other, because that's actually a clever way of thinking about it. So, and there's also an episode of the Pokemon anime where like Ash and Co go to like these 2 islands, but like the islands are jealous of each other because one island likes Huntail while the other likes Gorebyss more. So it just fits really well with that too. So it's a nice callback to the anime. So yeah, they'd have Huntail and Gorebyss. They'd also have Swilus, because Swilus has 2 heads, and I actually read this in the Pokedex, and I knew immediately I had to give them it. The 2 heads get envious of each other. That is actually real, so that's absolutely perfect. Spoilers, it's the only water type, no, it's the only non-water type on their teams, but I think that's fine. And then their legendary would be Tapu Fini, because, I mean, its body type is kind of similar to their body type, but it's a water type as well, and that's about it, really. That's all I have, really. It's a water-type legendary that's ultra-feminine like them and has a similar body type to them. So yeah, that is Levy's team. Maybe I went a bit too much on a tangent there, but oh well. Alright, last but not least is the Queen of Sloth, Belphegor. Before we get into her team, though, I just want to say one thing. I didn't give her Chandelure. I just felt like that would have been way too obvious and too cliche, so I didn't do that there. Instead, I gave her Grievard, because Grievards, like, the breed of dog like Grievard's based on get called sheepdogs, because they look like sheep a little bit. So, and it has a candle on its head, so I just feel like that's absolutely perfect. All of the demons named to the Sloth Ring have candles on their head, so I like that. I'd also give her a Dubwool, because Dubwool's kind of the only fully evolved sheep Pokemon we have. I know Mareep is also sheep, but it kind of becomes a sort of dragon, because Ampharos is kind of a dragon. It mega evolves into a dragon type, so there you go. I'd also give her Slacking, because, I mean, Slacking's probably the laziest Pokemon to ever exist. It gives Snorlax a run for its money. I originally was going to give her Snorlax, but Slacking's better, because it feels more like a royal, like, Pokemon in itself. I mean, it has King in the name, that's probably why. And her legendary would be Cresselia, because it's literally a goddess of dreams. It, like, gives people dreams. It fights off Darkrai, who gives people nightmares. And, you know, Belphegor has narcolepsy, because she's the Queen of Sloth. So that was just really perfect as well. So yeah, that's Belphegor's team. Maybe my description was a bit of a mess, but I think this team suits her really well. And that's my Helluva Lost Pokemon teams part 2. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you can think of another 2 Pokemon to add to each of their teams, which one would it be? Because I like to ask you people that. That's the end of this series. There's gonna be more Helluverse videos coming, obviously, but that's the end of, like, the Helluverse Pokemon series, I mean. So I think I had fun with it. Too bad that part 1 didn't do that well, but I'm still glad I made it. Hopefully the next parts do well. I will know after, well, way before this comes out. But yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye!